Today, March 1st, is the first day of Women's History Month. And one of the things we want to do here on the Tuesday Point and at KPOV in general is honor some of the amazing women here in Central Oregon. And today we have on one of my personal favorites, Darcy Bedortha from Prineville. As I mentioned at the beginning of the show, Darcy has recently, I guess in the last couple of years, founded an equine therapy program. It's called Horses on the Ranch. She founded it. She's built it up. I will say that I know personally, Darcy and I have known each other a long time. She worked incredibly hard, worked multiple jobs in addition to building on Horses in the Ranch. It's a culmination of a lot of a big journey throughout her life. Darcy, welcome to the Point.
Good morning. It's good to be here.
Yeah, great. So I guess can you start out with what was your inspiration for creating Horses on the Ranch?
So I've been a lifelong horse kid. I got my first pony when I was 6 years old for Christmas, and just have tried to keep horses in my life since then. There's been little gaps of time when I couldn't, just because horses are expensive and life is life. But I've always been drawn back to them. And sometimes that was just like getting a part-time job cleaning stalls just so I could be around them. About 30 years ago, I was a therapeutic riding instructor. So we worked mostly with Down syndrome participants, and I had a cerebral palsy participant. And so like physically challenged people with healing work with horses, which was really super powerful. So I had that in the back of my mind. And then in 2012, I started working for Heart of Oregon Corps, which is a local nonprofit, also doing phenomenal work. And they will always be a big piece of my heart. But in the back of my mind, as we're working with young people with social challenges and like just the stress of life and being disconnected from employment or education, or, we had a lot of Heart of Oregon Corps members that were struggling with houseless issues. So just in the back of my mind, I was always thinking I should just like get this kid in a round pen with a horse and just let them like learn some things from horses that they can't learn from people, because oftentimes, if you like young people that grow up in a challenging situation, having one more adult like judging or criticizing or trying to guide or lead or teach is just not something that they want to go down. But they don't have those barriers with a horse. So I had been with Heart of Oregon about 4.5 years, and I was looking 50 in the eye and thinking, if I don't do something different and like actually spend my time figuring out how to have horses in my life as a bigger chunk, then I'm not ever going to get it done, because the older I get, the harder it'll be to start. So I gave my notice and started like making things happen. So yeah, I got a part-time job with Crooked River Brewing as a server and a pizza maker, and that gave me a little bit of flexibility. And then I got another part-time job with a horse trainer cleaning stalls, and that gave me flexibility. And so I was able to make the big jump and lived in a camp trailer and rented room and storage trailer. And I mean, like, got as creative as I could to keep all of my expenses low and focus my energy on getting this program started. And here we are. That was 2019 that we were founded, and we are seeing clients 2.5 days a week now, which is pretty much capacity, because both of the counselors that I work with also have office hours and a regular mental health clinic. And that still gives me a couple of hours or a couple of days a week to continue working outside to bring income in. But we're at that point where it feels really stable. We've worked through 2 winters, seeing clients outside in snow and ice and all of that. And they, even with the challenges, they come because the work is so powerful. So as I was telling Bruce earlier, we on Friday morning ordered our pole barn. So we're this hopefully, knock on wood, will be the last winter we have to work in the snow.
Right. So what? Tell us. What is a pole barn? Pole barn.
Pole barn. It's just a type of building. So basically, it's a small indoor arena that we will. It's a roof only right now. The landowners where we lease our property are donating a deck of logs that we can build siding. So it will be enclosed eventually. But right now, it's just a roof. Around Central Oregon, you'll see like hay sheds, and that's pretty much what it's going to look like if you want to imagine. But we won't have hay in it. We'll have horses. We'll be doing our work inside. So that's super, super exciting. We'd written grants and had a lot of community donations and worked really hard and squirreled away as much of our income as we could because our work is paid for. It's covered by insurance. So most of our clients are OHP, and OHP covers this work and recognizes the value of the mental health therapy with horses. So we've squirreled away money, and last January we thought we were going to be able to get started on the project, and then we had some engineering and some county permit hangups, and about the time we got those straightened out, the materials went through the roof. So it took us another year to raise the rest of that money, and so I'm excited. We've got a contractor, John Armstrong, is donating his time to help us get it up, which is a huge gift, and we're due to break ground in May. So yeah.
Well, that sounds great. Congratulations on that. So one of the things you said, and I have a question. You said that especially thinking about the Heart of Oregon youth, that there are things people can learn from horses that they can't learn from humans. What can people learn from horses that they can't learn from humans?
Oh gosh, I'm like, I've been around horses for almost 50 years and I'm still learning. So a lot. The research is growing around just the physiological benefit of being near horses. One of the evolutionary developments in the horses is that they read each other's heart rates, so they're able to to feel when there's danger or when everything's calm. And so the same effect it works with humans. Just being around them helps people regulate their heart rate, regulate their breathing rate, teaches your body to find that equilibrium. So just like a lot of our clients deal with anxiety. And so just being around them helps their body learn to regulate. And so there's that. Horses live in the moment. They don't hold grudges. They're not worried about what happened yesterday or what's going to happen tomorrow. They're just very present. And so that response is really powerful for people to be around. I can tell stories forever. We had one client that a lot of our clients are survivors of childhood abuse, pretty severe. And we had one client that would just freeze anytime we have one big horse. He's a great big guy. Doesn't think he's a big guy, thinks he's a lap dog, but will get in your space. And so for that client to be able to move from freezing every time this giant horse moved to being able to say no and move him out of her space was powerful. And so that transfers into regular life. If you can tell this giant horse to respect my boundaries, this is my space and you need to back off, then that you can do that with people as well. Lots of empowering and chances to practice things like that, right? So sometimes they become a metaphor. The horses interact as horses will, and it's amazing to watch. Even though I understand and I believe in the work, it's still amazing to see it play out in front of you, where horses will play roles like characters in a person's life. That horse is doing to that horse what this person has done to me, and figure out how to maybe problem solve or even just talking about it is kind of a release valve, and they offer that. So many different ways that horses will help people on their healing journey. I mean, we're grounded in the philosophy that people have innately within them what they need to find their way towards healing, and we just kind of hold the space, and the horses hold the space, and people find their way.
So you're, all of these childhood traumas, adult traumas do tend to show up in the body, as you said,
sure,
in the form of anxiety, high heart rate, nausea, that sort of thing. So the horses calm the body,
yes.
right? And then that helps immensely with the rest of it, right?
Right. Yeah. And the model that I work under, it's EGALA. And so there are three beings on a team. I'm the equine specialist. I work with licensed counselors. So there's always a counselor present. Like if someone's triggered or we got to go into the deep stuff, they're there to support. And then the horses. And so it is mental health counseling. I work with two truly gifted counselors, Aaliyah Fern and Robin Loxley. And they bring a lot of, like you said, trauma lodges in the body. And so we work from that perspective, and like beyond what the horses do, help people build skills in how to relieve that anxiety.
So, Darcy, you've talked a little bit about it. I love how, by the way, you said three people and then corrected yourself, right? Three beings. I love that. The horses are people.
Yep.
I mean, well, they're not, right? But they feel so close to you is kind of how I interpreted that.
Right.
So, can you talk just a little bit? You've sort of already given us a glimpse, just like how it works when a client or a patient, whatever you call, comes in. What happens with all of that?
It's different with every client, and every client is different every day. So it just depends on how that person shows up in the moment. Sometimes they want to talk with us, and the horses are present to kind of do what horses do. Sometimes they don't want to talk to us; they just want to go pet a horse or brush a horse or just be out there. And so it looks different every single day. We never really know, what's going to happen. We just, like I said, kind of hold the space. We have one client that has pretty severe epilepsy as a result of childhood trauma. Did some pretty significant brain damage, and so they faced that and had a seizure in the parking lot. And we were, we don't have to do this today. We can just sit here with you. And they said, no, I need to be out there. I need to be with the horses. And so we went with them, and like, I will probably for the rest of my life tear up when I think about the story, but the horses all came and stood in a circle around this client while their body readjusted. There's a brain fog and kind of feeling disconnected when they come out of their seizures. And, it's hard to put to words what happened. So, that was definitely one of the most powerful moments. The client that came to us, 14-year-old client came to us presenting as like a 6-year-old cognitively. And I didn't know if we were going to be able to help this kid, but within a few weeks, the client was no longer like identifying as a mouse, but was talking more age appropriately and being able to hold their space with the horses and talk about things that were going on in their life. And so there's that. And then we've got a client that has some social challenges around, just because of the disability that they face, around being able to read social cues, and has gotten themselves into a little bit of trouble in the past. And we have some horses that are really clear about, like, when you don't pick up on the clue that I give you, I'm going to like pin my ears and I'm going to swing my head around. And so horses give that immediate feedback. But then again, like I said, they don't hold a grudge. So once it's done, and they move on. And here's the place that I'd like you to scratch me, and don't touch that other place. And so yeah, it's super hard to like have a canned expectation because it's very different every day with every client.
So I want to ask about when the horses form the circle around the kid with epilepsy. Did you call the horses to do that?
No.
Or they just instinctively did that?
They just show up. Yeah, they just show up. And it was, usually one or two would come visit when this client comes to see us, because our clients come every week. We have a couple that come twice a week, and we have a couple that come every other week, but mostly it's once a week, in office counseling would be. And most of the time, it'll be one or two horses that come around to check in. But that day, they all of them, all 7, we have 7 on our team, stood in a circle. It was, it's not something that I've seen before or since. It was that one particular day when that client needed that extra support, and the team knew. I mean, they are a herd, and they squabble and they push each other around, and there's hierarchy. And but that day they knew that this client needed them to just be there, and it was amazing.
Yeah, that sounds incredible. I can understand why you get emotional when you talk about it. I'm almost there over here. Jillian too in the studio. We're all we're all deeply moved by that. So Darcy, we got just a little bit of time left. If people want to know more about Horses on the Ranch, if they want to look into maybe your services or your nonprofit, where can they find all that information?
Sure. We have a website, which is probably at this point outdated. I need to sit down. Desk work is not my thing. I'd rather go clean a horse pen. But horsesontheranch.org is our website. We have a Facebook page, which is more updated probably than the website. It's Horses on the Ranch. We're on Instagram also. And you can send us an email, horsesontheranch@gmail.com. But yeah, we have an open house, a chamber event and an open house on May 12th, starting at 3:30 in the afternoon. And then the chamber after hours event will start at 5. But there's that. And then we have, in August, this will be our 3rd year to have the Mackay Creek Cowboy Gathering. So it's a music festival, music and cowboy poetry. And last year we had the Cowboy Poet of the Year for the United States and the Western Cowboy Poetry Association came and performed, some local musicians. And I haven't got the lineup confirmed yet, but I've got some pretty big ideas for this year, and I'm pretty excited about it. And that'll all be out at Wind Down Ranch, out Mackay Creek Road in Prineville.
All right. Darcy Bedortha of Horses on the Ranch. As I said, a remarkable woman here in Central Oregon. We're very lucky that Darcy is around to heal us. So thank you very much, Darcy, for joining us this morning.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure.
You've been listening to a KPOV Critical Conversation. To hear more engaging interviews on important topics, please visit kpov.org/critical-conversations.